Hey YouTubers, Vader here. In the previous video of my clutch project, I had stated that I would show how to basically tighten the spring back down to get this big nut back in place. And I already had it back together, back together, and I forgot about that. So I wanted to show, basically it was, taking this off in reverse, just until the spring's fully extended down here, and it's loose, the impact. Well, one of the things that you have to watch when you put this back is that there is, let me grab a little pointer here. There is a keyway here. Let me see if I can get a better shot on it. There's a basically it's a key, so it can't turn. This can't spin. There's an edge here, okay, and also in the reverse there's one on this side also, okay, right there. And you have to make sure that these line up, this plate and that line up on both sides. And then all you do, in regard to what I did, was sorry about that, guys. Kind of unprepared here. I was doing this on a oh shoot, I forgot something. Some tools here. I can stand this thing up. Okay, anyways, what I did was, I just made sure they were lined up as it comes down, and as it got closer, as I started tightening this up, you'll notice, then it grabs a hold of it, and once it gets past it, you're golden. You just got to get it past it, and just make sure they line up well. And all you do is snug it up. You don't want it to reef on this. Okay, don't reef on this. Just snug it up to where, again, you needed that distance here. Okay, like a 1/4 of an inch. It was like 14/64 or something, but instead of details, it's about a 1/4 of an inch thread is what's going to show up, and it's plenty to get this nut started again. And that's all you do, is just start the nut. Okay, just tighten it until she comes down where it won't turn anymore, and then you just release the thing. That's kind of basically all it was. But again, the catch is, you've got to make sure, now the pressure's on the nut again, and one of the things you got to make sure of is that those two notches that are cut there, flat sides, whatever you want to call them, they have to line up. If you don't have them quite lined up, make sure you do, and that it slides on there smooth, because if you force it, it's going to strip those threads that are on this nut. If you force this edge, this flat side, I'll show you the two flat sides. If you force them, not ready to pull this off here. Okay, pull my little magic tool off and set that aside for a moment. But anyways, if you force this plate, if it's off a little bit and you force it, you're going to cut this thread, bend these threads and screw these threads up. This nut will not go on. So be very, very sure that when she comes down, just turn your you know, the wrench just a tiny bit at a time. And you know, as you turn it, you know, just make damn sure that she's coming down, that this plate is coming down on these, you know, on these two sides here, these flat sides, evenly. And it shouldn't be no big deal, you know, because with the span that I have here, you know, the span that I've got here, I got equilibrium going on. It should not be a big deal. It should come you know, should go equally. But once you get it down to where you can put the nut on, you put the nut on, and then all I do after that, once I got it, I put the beast on here and make sure she's snugged up. It ain't gonna take much, and she's done. That's pretty much it. So I'm gonna put the bike back together on that part of it. Working on another little issue on it. It's not an operational issue, and I'll do a little video on that once I get the information corrected and stuff. But before I put it together, I'm gonna put some more grease in here. You know, down inside there. Again, I'm using this polyura grease that Yamaha recommends, and it's for wide temperature range. It says it resists hardening, throw off, and breakdown. You know, the whole shoot match. So I'm going to put some in there, and all I'll do basically is I'll apply it, you know, one of these, and I'll give you a little, you know, apply it in there, okay, and then I'll kind of use the stick side to, you know, just make sure it's smeared in there real good. You know, grease is important, and it's also, there's going to be grease in those little cog things that come out, because there's actually holes in there, that when this thing here, these pulleys open up, they're greased, and you know, it'll pull in this grease and this stuff. You know, there's bearings here. You know, it's all important. Grease is important. So I'll make sure that's good. You know, just kind of smear it around in there. Rides on that shaft, as you guys know, and a little bit on that bearing there, and we call that good. But that's it, basically. Okay, that's the clutch assembly and the whole shooting match. I got to put the belt on. There's a video that shows how I get that on, but I wanted to show how you put the damn thing back on, how you tighten it, the sequence, you know, that you need to make sure of, you know, on and on and on. So really no brainer. Again, a couple things to watch for is these two flat spots. Make sure they line up on the plate, and you're golden. That's, you know, in fact, I think I can show. On the plate here, you know, oh, that's not good. You know, the flat spots. Camera wrong place. These are the flat spots, and they have to line up on them threads. Don't force them. Don't force this down. That's why I think in a controlled situation, putting this in together, that's necessary. With your foot and all that kind of crap, I don't know how you'd even do that. But for one, I don't have the stepping strength to do something like that. In a controlled situation, you can monitor this. You'll make sure that this is going riding down. You know, on those threads. So you're not screwing these threads up. Man, you screw these threads up, you're all done. So, because that's, you know, That's part of this whole assembly here. You don't want to mess these threads up. So anyways, that's it on the clutch assembly. So this is Vader out, and I'm putting my bike together, at least that part of it. And this is putting the clutch back together in a control situation and carefully, and making sure that she's ready to go. So that's Vader out. That's it for now. Vader out.